A man in a costume. A full Monkey D. Luffy outfit, the red vest, the straw hat. He's holding up a copy of Weekly Shonen Jump. Posed. Proud. This is his proof. He posted it to 23 million followers as evidence that he read One Piece on a plane. Then cut to what Twitter placed directly underneath it. Community note. Auto-generated. No critic. No rival. Just the platform itself pointing out in plain text that the magazine in his hands is open halfway through to unrelated content. One Piece Chapter 1 starts near the front of the issue, right after the table of contents. He posed with the wrong page, in costume, after spending $500,000.
What I've spent a lot of money on that no one knows about until this moment is manga. Japanese comics, the birthplace of some of the biggest IP and the biggest franchises in the world. And I'm an anime fan, a casual anime fan. I know people go crazy, but I love my One Piece, I love my Demon Slayer, my One Punch Man, and Dragon Ball, obviously. And maybe some of you saw on my Instagram, I actually have the most expensive manga of all time. It's a Dragon Ball 9.2, highest grade in the world, Pop 1. And I actually don't have it, it's in the vault right now, but just to give you guys an idea of like the type of money these things are going for, me and Jeremy Padawer went $550,000 for this book. This one is also equally special. A One Piece graded 9.0, second highest in the entire world. It took Superman 90 years to sell 600 million copies. One Piece did it, like this series, this manga, in just 30 years. But someone on my team does love One Piece. I'm gonna show it to him. I'm not gonna gift it to him, but I do want him to see, you know, the first chapter of One Piece, like literally where the entire franchise started. Maybe kickstart his manga journey.
I want to show you something I think you're gonna like. Chapter 1 of One Piece, the first canon appearance of Monkey D. Luffy.
Wait, this is the first manga?
Yes.
Volume 1?
Yes, volume 1. Second highest graded in the world, 9.0. One Piece, we all know it, we all love it. I know you love it. It started here. This is volume 1, so they would take it from the magazine and then make the first ever, like, actually dedicated One Piece book. It's probably $300,000 to $400,000 book.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
As a One Piece fan, this is crazy. This so actually saved my life.
What do you mean One Piece saved your life?
It saved my life.
What do you mean by that?
You remember back in quarantine?
Yeah.
I was depressed before like watching it.
No
but then
way.
when I started watching it, it started to get like motivation.
Holy shit.
Life.
Before we get into what happened, let's establish what this man is actually capable of. Now, before we get to that, Peter said he does not believe we can get this channel to 1,000 subscribers in 14 days. Please kindly subscribe. We need to prove him wrong that we can get to 1,000 subscribers before 14 days. And Peter is our new editor, so kindly subscribe and help this challenge. Thank you. In 2021, Logan Paul walked into a room and bought the most expensive Pokemon card ever sold. $5.3 million. 3 years later, he sold it. $16.4 million. 3 times his investment. In under 4 years.
So anyway, he's going crazy on it. He's buying a bunch of new shit involving it. He's tweeting out about it. Why is he doing all this? Okay, answer, I think pretty simple. I think this is pretty straightforward. It's a very simple grift here. You guys remember Pokemon prices skyrocketing. Okay, this is just in the last year, but I'm sure you guys will remember the price jumping from COVID 2020 to now. Logan Paul was kind of at the forefront of the Pokemon price spike, right? He bought the most expensive Pokemon card in the world, made a YouTube video about it, spent like $5.3 million, okay? Eventually sold that card for $16.4 million, a like 3x turnaround in just a few years. And basically just came in with a good amount of money, bought out like whatever the tier 1 supplies, which in Pokemon's like first edition base set, made it like a hype beast product, got a bunch of people into it.
Then came Prime, the energy drink he built with KSI. Launched in 2022 off the back of one of the most watched rivalries on the internet, and it became a billion-dollar brand almost overnight. Not 100 million, a billion. Stores couldn't keep it stocked. Schools were banning it because the demand was creating chaos on campuses. Kids were reselling bottles online for multiples of retail price. At the time, Logan Paul looked like someone who had figured out something the rest of the internet hadn't. He had the platform. He had the capital. He had a track record that made the plays look smart.
You don't lend your brand to this, or people just know you're Prime? Like, how does this work?
No.
Yeah, well, I'm a co-founder with
But if
KSI.
if I go online and look at the advertising of this, are you all over
Yes,
this?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so that's exciting. It's such a competitive space because the shelf is completely loaded with competitors, and you know who they are.
Yep.
And they don't like dirty little startups like you.
Yep.
But you have a competitive advantage because of your brand.
And then he set his sights on manga, which would have been fine if that had ever actually been the point. It's the glitched system. And this is why Logan Paul's most dangerous product has always been your attention. Now, the manga move. And to understand it, you need to understand the Pokemon move first. Because they are the same play. Here's how the Pokemon thing actually worked. Logan didn't just buy a card. He bought the most expensive card in the world, made a YouTube video about it, turned that card into a cultural event. His audience treated it like a moment they were part of. The value of the card went up. The value of similar cards went up. And then he sold. What Logan Paul figured out before most people noticed is that his attention is a commodity. When he points at something and says it matters, enough people believe it to make it matter. That's a real financial instrument. He used it with Pokemon. He used it with Prime.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is asking the FDA to investigate that wildly popular Prime energy drink and whether it's being marketed to children. The brand does also make a zero caffeine drink. It's called Prime Hydration. Senator Schumer claims that packaging and advertising for the two drinks are almost identical. Makers of Prime point out that the label warns it is not recommended for children under 18.
This morning, New York Senator Chuck Schumer is calling on the FDA to investigate the energy drink Prime.
Crime. More like crime. This is Logan Paul's and KSI's new drink. Dare to battle Gatorade. Guys, is it a good drink? 3 problems I have with it. Let's go with the good things. It has filtered water. Great. Coconut water, which is good for hydration, and some BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. Can't go wrong with it. But the 3 ingredients I have a problem with are citric acid. Everyone knows it causes inflammation. And the 2 artificial sweeteners. One of them being sucralose, and the second one being acesulfame potassium. Everyone knows it's not good for your gut health and brain development. So would I use this? Probably not, guys. Parents, don't get your kids Prime. Even though it's run by KSI and Logan Paul, they could have done a much better job in order to battle Gatorade. It's not the healthiest drink. I would stick with water.
But it's not the electrolyte formula for athletes. This is not focused for athletes and designed for athletes whatsoever with 40 milligrams of sodium. Let's think about here, if we're designing an electrolyte formula, the purpose is hydration. We are trying to achieve a state of heightened performance through replenishing lost electrolytes that should already be in balance given your diet model too. So let's look at the elements or the liquid IV breakdown. We have 500 milligrams of sodium. So when he mentions as a criticism, it tastes kind of salty. It's like, well, good fucking luck getting away from the salty taste when you have over 500 plus milligrams of sodium in a product.
And now he was coming for manga. In January 2024, he posted a tweet. A very specific tweet. He had the numbers. He had the credentials. He had the platform to push them to tens of millions of people. And publicly, he was positioning himself as a fan, community member, someone who was joining the world of manga because he loved it. There was just one thing that struck people as slightly off about that tweet. Something in the phrasing. Something that read a little too clean. A little too Wikipedia. Like it had been generated rather than written. People noticed, filed it away, and moved on. For now, he had the numbers. He had the height. The only thing missing was the one thing you can't actually fake.
Luffy D Monkey, shout out Luffy.
Monkey D Luffy.
What?
Monkey D Luffy.
It's Monkey D Luffy.
I Show Speed replied. For words. 600,000 people agreed. In real time. Now, to understand why that matters, you need to understand who I Show Speed actually is in this community. Because this wasn't just a random call-out from a rival. This was the community's most visible, most genuinely invested face drawing a public line. Speed has had a Luffy profile picture since the beginning of his channel. Not a recently acquired one. The same picture he has to this day. He has introduced hundreds of people to the series. And on camera, unprompted, he explained that One Piece got him through depression during quarantine. That's what genuine fandom looks like. 600,000 people saw the difference immediately. But Speed calling him out was just the beginning. Because what Logan did next wasn't back down. It wasn't stay quiet. It was double down. And in doing that, he accidentally showed everyone exactly what the play actually was.
I do see some people saying things like, oh, he's LARPing. You're a LARPer. Yo, let's just eat some devil fruit shit, bro. I had to sail the Grand Line real quick.
Yeah.
Turns out my outfit was back at the beginning of the Grand Line.
Yeah.
Hey, Monkey D. Luffy.
Shortly after the tweet, Logan sat down with a member of his team. He wanted to share something. A $400,000 copy of One Piece Chapter 1. His grand reveal of exactly how much he valued this world. He said, Monkey Duffy, while holding a $400,000 copy of the book. That character is on camera. The internet clocked it in seconds. And to be fair, you could almost write this off as cluelessness. Names are easy to mispronounce. Maybe he genuinely tried and got it wrong. Except, he'd already done this. Exact same structure. Different IP. And it worked. The clip wasn't just embarrassing. It was a tell. And here's why. When Logan Paul sold his Pokemon Illustrator card for $16.4 million, a lot of people called it genius. And on the surface, it looked like it. Buy rare. Hype it. Sell high. But here's what was actually happening underneath that trade. Logan sold 49% fractional ownership of the card through a platform called Liquid Marketplace.
It's impossible to talk about the sale of Logan Paul's Pokemon Illustrator card without quickly mentioning the, what's the right word without getting sued by Logan Paul because he likes to sue people who talk about him. The precarious nature of his interactions with his card, because he had sold this Pokemon Illustrator that he bought for $5 million to users of a website called Liquid Market. So he basically sold like fractional ownership through NFTs, right? Because you can't break up a card. So he sold fractional ownership through like a NFT version of a tokenized version of this card. He sold 5% of it in 2022. You would think, you know, if you bought in for $1,000, you get $3,000 when he sold it. Instead, that's not what happened. If you guys don't remember this, Logan Paul sold part of his card on Liquid Marketplace by tokenizing it, worth $270,000. A couple of years later, he bought it all back, which I guess was in the terms of the Liquid Marketplace agreement. So he never gave the users who bought their percentage of the card their return on investment when the card sold. He purchased it before he sold it, knowing he was going to sell it, and then took 100% of the profit. He tweeted out about it. He said, as you may know, the Pokemon Illustrator was previously listed on Liquid Marketplace where users could purchase tokens. According to the company, represented fractional ownership interest in the card. His whole thing is that he put up 49% for sale. He had 51%. So I guess it basically meant he just got a interest-free loan from 2022 when he sold it to May 2024 when he bought it back. He just was able to get an interest-free loan from a collective of investors. The weird part about this is he says afterward the company and some of its principals faced regulatory scrutiny. Okay, he says the company, which he has no involvement in, does not relate to him. He's the co-owner, by the way. The co-founder, I should say. Like when this initially launched, Logan Paul has launched a market. He was the co-founder. I don't know how that works. How are you the co-founder? You're like, fuck, dude, the fucking company, bro. God damn. He was a co-founder of the company, which raised $8 million in it.
Retail investors bought tokens representing fractional ownership. They thought they owned a piece of the upside. Then, before executing the $16.4 million sale, Logan bought all the tokens back. Quietly, he bought back every fraction of ownership he'd sold. He exited with 100% of the $16.4 million. He raised $270,000 from retail investors, used it interest-free for 2 years, then took the full $16.4 million for himself. When the platform faced regulatory scrutiny, Logan publicly distanced himself from the company he co-founded. He was a co-founder of the platform he used to run the scheme. Now look at the manga play. He buys the 2 rarest, most publicly recognizable manga chapters in existence. He announces it to his platform. He announces it in a tweet that sounds AI generated. He puts on the costume. He posts the photos. He rage baits the community into talking about him nonstop. The controversy is the marketing. Every person who quote tweets him furious about the LARP is driving up awareness, which drives up demand, which drives up the price of the assets he's sitting on. This wasn't ignorance. This was architecture. And now he was running the same architecture, different cover, same structure, on 600 million One Piece fans. More purchases, more tweets, more posts positioning himself as a fan embraced by the community. Then a video claiming he read the manga on a plane, that he'd been converted, that the community had taken him in. And then came the costume, the full Monkey D. Luffy outfit, straw hat, red vest. He posted it to his 23 million followers. Dressed as the character from the series he'd just spent $500,000 pretending to love. This is the move people couldn't stop talking about. And multiple commentators, including people inside the community, started saying it out loud for the first time. The entire thing, the costume, the wrong name, the doubling down was fuel. And then the internet stopped reacting and started fact-checking. Logan Paul posted the costume photo, the proof that he was a fan, the evidence that he'd earned his place in the community. Twitter placed a community note directly underneath it. He posed with the wrong page, in a Luffy costume, as proof of fandom, and Twitter called it, not a rival, not a critic, not ISO speed. The platform's own infrastructure, an algorithm, placed a fact-check directly underneath his post, using his own image as the only evidence. He didn't get caught by someone watching. He got caught by a machine that wasn't even trying. In the story of Logan Paul and manga, the most revealing moment wasn't a feud, wasn't a lawsuit, wasn't even the liquid marketplace. It was an algorithm noticing what 600 million fans already knew. Here's what this story is actually about. The internet gave creators the power to build trust at scale. What Logan Paul figured out years ago quietly is that you don't actually need to earn that trust. You just need to rent it long enough to execute the trade. His attention is a market instrument. His platform is the distribution mechanism. And the community, any community, is the audience he needs to move the price. He is not a fraud who keeps getting caught. He's a system that keeps working exactly as designed. The Pokemon card, the Prime launch, the liquid marketplace, the manga, every time the same architecture. Buy in, generate buzz, extract the value, exit. And the genuinely unsettling part isn't that he does it. It's that enough people buy in every single time to make it worth doing again. He told you who he was at the beginning. The man who tweeted the first canon appearance of Monkey D. Luffy had never heard the name out loud. Logan Paul doesn't ruin communities because he's reckless. He ruins them because he's methodical. As always, it's the glitched system. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. The shout out of the day goes to Christopher TM. Thank you so much for the support. You've been there from the start, and all the positive energies you have sent towards this channel's direction is not taken for granted. I really appreciate you. If you guys want to get a shout out in the very next video, then all you have to do is drop a comment down below letting me know, or simply just asking for a shout out, and there's a chance that you might get one in the very next video. But regardless, I appreciate you all so much for watching. Have a good day, Chris. The still glitched system. I'll see you all in the next one, and I'm out.